Hello everyone, today I am going to explain about Bayes theorem. See the introduction of Bayes theorem. Bayes theorem is also known as Bayes rule, Bayes law or Bayesian reasoning, which determines the probability of an event with certain knowledge. In probability theory, it relates the conditional probability and marginal probabilities of two random events. Bayes theorem was named after the mathematician Thomas Bayes. The Bayesian reference is an application of Bayes theorem, which is a fundamental to Bayesian statistics. The definition of Bayes theorem in a probability theory and statistics. Bayes theorem, alternatively Bayes law or a Bayes rule, describes the probability of an event based on a condition that might be related to the event, that is P of A by B equal to P of B by A into P of B divided by P of B. We will see the applications of Bayes theorem first. It is used to calculate the next step of the robot when already executed step is given. Second, Bayes theorem is helpful in weather forecasting. Third, to determine the accuracy of the medical test result by taking into consideration. Fourth, it can solve the Monty Hall problem. Fifth, considering the manufacturing firm that receives shipment of part from two suppliers. We will see the when to apply Bayes theorem. Part of challenge is applying Bayes theorem involves the recognizing type of problem that warrant its use. You should consider Bayes theorem when following condition exists. Within the sample space, there exists an event B for which P of B greater than 0. The analytical goal is compute a conditional probability of the form P of AK bar bar B. You should know at least one the two sets of a probability. Now we will see the advantages of Bayesian method. First, Bayesian method allows us to do things that could be difficult or impossible with standard statistical analysis. Second, it is simple to incorporate prior physical or statistical information. Third, interpretation of result is very natural. Fourth, model comparison is easy and straightforward. Fifth, it is systematic way of approaching a statistical problem rather than collection of ad hoc technique. Sixth, very complex problems are straightforwardly within a Bayesian framework. Now we will see the disadvantages of Bayes theorem. First, requires large amount of probability data. Second, subject to evidence may not be reliable. Third, independence of evidence assumption often not valid. Fourth, relationship between hypothesis and evidence is reduced to a number. Sixth, explanation for the user difficult. Sixth, high computational overhead. Seventh, major problem, the relationship between beliefs and disbeliefs, that is P of h by e equal to 1 minus P of h dash by e may not always work. Thank you.